The subject of discussion today is Asaba flood control projects. The master plan projects consist of building huge water drainage system with network of drainage channels, gutters, box culverts, and the dredging of adjacent rivers, including sections of River Niger. It is a master plan consisting of 4 projects that all the states in Nigeria in particular and African countries in general prone to flooding should embrace and use as a model to control flooding in their communities. Important things to note about this master plan: 1. It will create permanent maintenance job for the communities. 2. It will encourage foreign investment in Asaba City. 3. It will increase the GDP of Delta State and Nigeria. Please watch this video and share with others, and subscribe to this channel and hit the bell button and select all. Thanks for watching.
Delta State, as a coastal state, has a peculiar topography that has made most communities prone to flooding and erosion. The fact remains that humans cannot stop the rains from falling, nor stop flowing surface water from bursting its banks. That is why it only becomes important that people prepare for them or take steps to avert the devastating impact.
We have a lot of tributaries of River Niger around the state, so it's prone to.
Asaba, the state capital, is flood prone as it is situated at the end of a hill that starts from Okpanam town and the very low valley that stretches to the River Niger. These 2 factors have perennially made the city a receptacle for flood. With the increase in structural development of the Okpanam axis of Asaba metropolis, the menace of flood had in recent times become a huge challenge, as even the drainage projects done by the previous administrations have been grossly overwhelmed by the large volume of flood.
We have engaged 2 very notable construction firms, Cetraco and CCC, who are currently working on the flood issue from Okpanam end and also in the Asaba metropolis. And we believe strongly that this will really help. And if you go around the city, you can actually see it. And when you talk about storm drainage, it's really the storm drainage in the true sense of it.
In the face of this huge flood challenge, the administration of Senator Dr. Arthur Ifeanyi developed a master plan to tackle the menace in the capital city. The project, tagged Asaba Flood Storm Control Project, involved the building of huge water drainage system to contain the massive flood that disrupt traffic and ravage homes in the heart of the city at each rainy season.
We've started 4 major projects in that direction. The one that is draining the Jesus Saves, the other one being done by, because we took different segments of the town, is being done by Cetraco, that is going to drain the whole of the DBS area, and another one being done by CCC through the Rafuwechi Road, that is going to drain off the huge water storm that is coming in from the Okpanam area. All 4 are going on simultaneously, and we believe that on completion at the early part of 2019, we will not have the issue of flooding anymore in the state.
The drain project cut across several major routes. It starts as a normal drain from many arterial streets that connect major roads and progress deeper and wider through the major roads up to the different discharge points.
That this channel we are doing, connecting all these junctions and roads all over, it will reduce the major or the biggest part of the flood. When it is connected to the river, to the discharge, Asaba flood will be reduced drastically.
Since we started doing this project, people passing by always commend the effort of the governor for having brought this type of a drainage system. They say that for the past years, I wish there is a sort of a drainage like this, the problem would have been solved. because it is big enough to carry any volume of water. And it's not only carrying it, it will deposit it right to the river.
The velocity of the surging flood from the hills of Okpanam has been intercepted at the Eagle Square Junction, from where the deep drain channels the water into the Iyabi.
Each time rain falls here, the water flow here is too bad. You can't drive your vehicle to pass here. You can't pass here with your leg. You must off your trousers and pack your shoes. So imagine it, but with this job we're seeing here, we have hope that soon everything will end.
I have to actually take my car to mechanic most of the times because of the water and all that. But with the new drainage system, I think it's a bit better. Okowa is actually working, and everywhere around the state we can see that development has been actually going on. But this one particularly, an accolade to him.
Another remedial effort aimed at rewriting the history of the perennial flooding of Asaba has led the administration of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to construct another deep drain from the Akbu Junction right from the legislative quarters to the Anwai River. This project spans several kilometers and is designed to address the remaining flood from the Okpanam axis.
The primary purpose of government. So this, I believe, will secure our people from the impact of flooding. It also creates a sufficient...
It's one of the stormwater drainage channels that is being constructed to control the flood coming down from the upstream, from Okpanam end. And this section here is the 3 meter by 3 meter channel going straight to Anwai River. So it will enter the Anwai River after the bridge. So we are
since the construction of the drainage, now we can move our cars.
Also situated right at the heart of the Mariam Babangida dual carriageway and the DBS road corridor is another giant water channel. This particular channel cuts across several streets before passing through the government house, from where it continued yet again to the Anwai River.
The beginning is 2.4, but between here and the Okpanam Road, it has already gone down to 5 meters. So that is why, yes.
What's the depth of this now?
Here is about 3 meters.
This project is actually for 12 months. That is for 1 year. And it will be completed fully by the end of February 2019. I want to appeal to Deltans, especially those living along this corridor, to please be patient with us. What we are doing is for the good of all. Once it's completed, the issue of flooding will be a thing of the past.
Residents of the DLA Jesus Saves corridor are already feeling the impact of the de-flooding program of the Okowa-led administration, as the deep underground water channel, which traversed several streets and seated right at the center of the Agric Road, has started to convey the large volume of flood to the Amili Mocha River.
Whenever it rains for a good 3 days, you won't be able to go out. You have to fold your trousers, swim the water. But now, if it rains within, say, 30 minutes, the whole place is fine. You won't even see a drop of rain.
The road is better than before. In as much as they are still working, I know they will do a perfect job.
What they have dig and flush into the River Niger.
Perhaps of interest is the depth of the drainages, as well as the dimension and strength of the concrete drain being used by the contractors to execute these projects.
Wow. I have just emerged from the tunnel of one of the major storm drainage projects along DBS Road right here in Asaba. From top to bottom, it's at least 20 feet deep right into the bowels of the earth, and it's wide enough like a dual carriageway. Now this project has been designed to evacuate storm water from Mariam Babangida and adjoining streets. It stretches for several kilometers long right through the government house, headed straight for Anwai River to empty its contents. Now what this reminds me of is the tunnel in the UK. The only difference is that this has not been designed to carry human beings, but rather to evacuate storm water. But one thing residents can be very sure of is that they are bound to enjoy drier streets right in the heart of the rainy season. Asaba has never known it this good.
If we are cautious that these debris will block the flow of water and we start disposing them properly, I think it will help these drains, to help the flow of water. Because when these debris are not there, and that's another advantage of the bigger drains. Before debris will gather somewhere to block the flow, then it should be a mammoth debris. My own advice is that Deltans should understand that the best way for us to appreciate what the governor is doing by controlling this drain is by not disposing our waste into the drains itself.
Apart from these 4 major storm drainage projects, there is the effort to address all flood-prone areas of the state through major drains. To that extent, there are drain projects going on to establish an effective network, and that has turned Delta State into a confident that the drainage and flood storm control project will effectively address the menace of flood in part
along this road. So, in fact, it's a wonderful work. What commending?
Everywhere flooding. Even grass grew on the road, sir. We can't pass it. But now, it's okay. Okuma is trying.
In order for the flood control projects to be effective. In the light of this, the fears and tales of woes which follow heavy downpours in the state took a different turn in this year's rainy season. Residents of Asaba and other adjoining communities testify to this fact.
Without this drainage being done, the whole Asaba will be in a mess. I really commend him for that.
We are hopeful that at the end of it all,
has dredged the Anwai River to increase its capacity to receive the inflow of flood water during the rains.
It also benefit not just the indigenous, it will also benefit the
non-control project in the state. To this end, the smart thinking governor keenly inspects these projects on a regular basis to ensure standards are adhered to.
Because with that, I'm sure that I can put them under enough pressure. They are working hard, but I still believe that they need to work faster than they are doing.
And you see them increase the pace of their work, which is what we're experiencing.
The government efforts are not restricted to the state capital. It traverses the central and south senatorial district. At the last count, there is already a technical committee set up to evolve a flood storm control. Parts of the river Niger and river Ethiopia are being dredged to enable them accommodate larger inflow of flood water and discourage flooding of communities, especially during the rains. Communities like Eulu, Ishago, Sapele and Jesse have benefited from the dredging exercise. Government is constantly excavating drainages of sand, refuse and all manner of barricade to ensure the free flow of flood water in times of rains. To this end, the State Commissioner for Environment, John Nani, is regularly on inspection tour and supervises the mechanical desiltation and opening of natural waterways, clearing and evacuation of blocked drainages in Araya, Isoko South and Agbaro in Ughelli North local government areas, and construction of concrete box culverts in Otefe, Ogara and Jesse.
We have gone round to see that what is causing the flooding mainly is the olden days, as the Iteto culverts, which are recovered. If the debris are coming with the flood, when it gets to where the culvert is, it will get hooked there. So what we are doing now is we're removing the old culverts, which are the ring type, the circle type, and we're now putting the box culvert, the rectangular type. We know full well that as the water is coming in, flood is coming, it's going to flow through. Whether there are waste in it or not, it's going to flow through to the discharge points. When the rain comes, it will no more cause flooding in the community.
Beyond the core objective of deflooding major streets, the construction of the several storm drainage has provided jobs for thousands, both in terms of direct labor and sale of materials.
This job is going on. People are being employed to work. People that sell food, those that sell clothes come to sell clothes to the workers. Invariably, money is coming out and it's moving around in circles. By the time the month is ending and they start paying salaries, you see a lot of people having money in their hand because from this job, money is spreading. They give to their families, maybe either in Cross River State or in Warri or in Saple, wherever they are, it starts going on. That's one of the good things the project is doing.
If not for this work, I think I'll still be at home doing nothing.